All right, we're hanging out with Preston, and he's got a lot of beans. So we're gonna brew some coffee. I think this is a unique recipe, worthwhile showing off. So maybe this will be its own video. But this is how Preston brews coffee, which is the complete different style to how I brew. So I love fast, high agitation, fast flowing everything. Preston is doing something very different, and we both we're both brewing on cone shaped brewer. So why don't we walk this through and show off this recipe?
Right. So let me get this filled up. Yes, I use Crystal Geyser because I don't have I'm not making water. That's for sure.
Okay, but what do you got? What's the setup?
What's the setup? We got a scale.
We have a scale, yes.
We got first thing is good coffee. I'm gonna do a 1 to 18. Usually I've been rocking a 1 to 18 or more, 1 to 19 at times. I like both. We'll get so this is a V2, V60. You don't want to go more than 20 grams. So we're gonna do something around 18 grams. It's funny, you'll notice how the clarity is really boosted going from 21 grams to 19 or 18 grams on this brewer. So bear in mind, the more coffee you use, generally the less clarity you're gonna experience. You probably already know that.
Yes. Hopefully, if you've been watching these videos, you know how to brew coffee.
You already know how to brew. So this is how I brew. I don't have a bean sorter. I'm not a wealthy coffee roaster, so I sort them. Kenya's so clean,
Yeah, but you can take any of your coffees and brew it in this way that we're about to show you.
Yeah.
It's just that, you can do diligence. If you're at home and you're looking at the coffees, pick out the defects. But if you buy coffee from Preston, generally the defects are
they're lesser,
very low. Yeah.
I mean, these are great producers, so we're not sorting them, but I tend to do that. So now we're down to 17 grams, which is fine. Give it a little zhuzh. For the sake of functionality, I'm at 800 RPM. You don't have the luxury to go up or down.
And then you have DF83V with SSP brew.
That is correct. SSP M-piece.
M-piece.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's a great grinder. Thank you, Brian.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, wow. Very, very, very nice considering it is washed.
Yeah.
Loud wash coffee. And you like these guys.
Yes.
Surprising.
T92s. T92 filters. They're just a high drag filter. So they're going to slow everything down. Of the Cafec filters, I feel like I taste them the least. It could be psychosomatic, who knows? But that's my experience.
Yeah, I mean, you are using the filter here to slow things out. Obviously, we are grinding pretty fine still with your coffees, but I think, what's interesting with this brew method that you guys are about to see is the focus on long brew times and, crazy extractions and so on and so forth. I think still you can take any of the coffees that Preston roasts, you can brew them in a variety of ways, but this is, how you like your coffee presented.
Right. Yeah. I mean, honestly, they all work out really well because the coffees are so good and they're soluble. So there's no wrong way to brew Flower Child unless you're not using water. But maybe we'll come up with a new scientific way to use water to
and eat the beans,
and
right?
We'll be like, whoa. But no, you could just eat you could, actually, that's great.
Yeah, you literally could eat
still
the beans.
using water, though, you guess.
Okay.
So, yeah, I am...
1 to 18.
I got just about 17 grams there.
Pretty fine grind still, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it turns out to be such.
And then your water temp is at...
So I'm going to let this roll off boil. I'm going to do my bloom here around 210, 211. Just not boiling.
And then you have a mellow drip setup here.
Yeah,
So,
I really like it. Okay, we've already started the timer here, so we'll catch up. So just off of boiling, I'm going to give it a light, 1 to 3, 4 pre-wet. And then I'm going to gently incorporate the water into the bed of coffee. Nothing super aggressive. And this is going to be up to 60, 70 seconds on the bloom. And this will give it time to release as much CO2 as possible and allow the water to kind of soak into the bed of coffee. This is your biggest extraction phase in the whole brew. So it's important to give it time to do so. And then I'm going to do a secondary bloom in 60 seconds. Again, 1 to 3. We're just going to cover the bed of coffee. And you can kind of see that it's going to turn over the coffee.
yeah. So you're kind of rotating the coffee a little bit there. And you also will let this sit for about a minute. But that's another bloom.
Right. Yeah, so you can kind of see it.
Yeah.
See how it's kind of turning over? About 30 seconds of that. And then I'm going to lightly pour 2 major pours. And I'm trying to keep the mellow drip as close to the water bed, the coffee bed, as possible, as to not turn up the coffee slurry.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to let the coffee bed be the filter as well.
And you're pouring pretty slow. Looks at about 2 to 3, or under 5 mils.
Right. If I'm paying attention, it's slower. If I'm not, I'm in a hurry.
Yeah, but you have the filters that really slow things down. So you guys can already see, you can see through to the bed right there. You can see there's like the water sitting on top. It's doing, there's like double filtration going on, as we'd say, right? And you can see how the fines. Let me see if I can focus you guys. You can see the fines getting pushed up already to the sides there. And you can definitely see the T92s taking effect there. It's slow filtration.
Not letting it draw down too much. I don't really want to return over the coffee bed. So you can see that I kind of continue that second last pour, that last 25% of water fairly quickly after this.
Yeah, and we're already above 3 minutes. This is, brews. You can definitely even pour slower and get this guy up to like 7-8 minutes.
Right.
And this type of flavor profile, I think, is, it's like the immersion type, like where you can get these super long brews, but you get significantly more clarity.
Yeah, it is. I little less bypass than you normally would with a filter brew. And yeah, the cup is just cleaner in texture, which I really like. I'm not like a huge fan of fines up in the brew. Tends to muddy the clarity in my, just the way that I like to drink coffee, So this was my solution. Mainly to SSPs. This was on another grinder, but then also just found that I liked a bigger extraction. Well, how do we do bigger extraction? Yes, we slow down the brew. But how do we do that without doing an immersion? We create like this, basically this coffee bed filter and T92 filter situation with the mellow drip, where we're not turning over the bed a ton. We give it a nice gentle stir in the beginning, but then we gently apply pressure with the water so that we're not barreling through the coffee. The water's evenly going through the bed very slowly, thereby upping the extraction.
Yeah, and this is a very different way to brew than me, where I'm like,
Right.
I want to agitate, I want to grind fine, agitate a lot, use fast filters.
Right. Which
And
I like that. That's a really great cup. But you'll notice it's a totally different. You know, you have a very smooth tea-like expression in your brews, whereas this is like kind of tannic, gripping, very loud. Maybe
yeah,
higher.
there's a
maybe
weight.
yeah.
There's like a weight to this type of brew. And you know what's fun about this is the ratio, right? You look at this ratio and you're like, that doesn't make sense. That shouldn't work, right? Because people think, 1 to 8, I think like, some people don't even like 1 to 16 because they're like 1 to 16 is too thin, right? People love those like tight ratios. But what's nice about this is because you're doing this long brew, like you'll find in those long AeroPress, those long immersion styles of brews, you get the texture, you get the deepness, the depth of flavor. And I mean, just look how dark that is, right? Does that look like a 1 to 19 brew? No, not really, right? Right?
No, it's a trip.
And that's what's fun is that you can, obviously you need to have good coffee to do this, and you need to have a roast style. Like, don't necessarily do this on every single coffee in the world.
Yeah, it'd be a trip. It'd be pretty gnarly to do it on a dark roast. That's why you see all these people are so used to brewing, with the darker roast, you don't necessarily want to use as hot water. You definitely don't want that kind of brew time, because the stringency comes out with burnt sugars and proteins. So because this doesn't have that, you can push it.
Yes.
And that's the cool thing about having a proper light roast to brew with is like you can really push the extraction. It's funny with a few more grams, this will go to 7-8 minutes. But I've been, kind of playing with anything from 4 minutes on. This was a 5-minute brew here with the 17-gram dose. So,
yeah, anything above 4 minutes with your coffees, with the style is very interesting. So let's give this a taste.
Yeah.
Because, your 1 to 19 ratios definitely don't look like that. Usually out of a normal pour over, right? Usually that's like you got to do some immersion trickery for that, but you have the filtration and the slower filters, which is really helpful. So we're gonna taste this
Down the hatch.
All right, let's give it a taste. Things happen outside. Wow, I mean that's so dark visually, right?
Yeah.
But you're extracting like, this is like your 24 plus 25, 26% extraction usually.
Right.
1.4, 1.5 TDS ish.
Yeah, I mean it's up in the 5s, 1.5s.
Wow.
So
yeah, like that's not that you have to chase numbers, but if you were curious, right?
It's just a marker, like I mean of solubility, how much, a lot of people don't like think they don't like coffee above 1.5. But like I said, with a proper light roast, you might find that you enjoy it. I find that it's very forward profile. The sweetness is very forward. The acidity is very forward. The body is weighted. The tannins are high. It has a lot of layering, and the structure generally tends to be much more articulate.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's give this a taste. I'll just stay behind the camera. But
yes.
What are we experiencing?
Cheers, Brian. Yeah.
Oh wow! First of all, the smell. I mean, it is loud. The aromatics are loud. Obviously, this is a nice. This is a Kenyan, right? Like,
right.
This is clean, expressive Kenyan, but it's very in your face.
Kimagumo.
Oh man, that's crazy. That this is of this in this ratio, right? Is that the texture is there. Everything is very deep. For those of you who like immersion brews, a little louder, the heavier texture, it's there.
Yeah.
The body's there, but clarity.
Yeah, it's so clean and so clear. Easily, you can read this really easily. I think that's why I like it. The acidity is very obvious. The sweetness is very obvious. Like you can pick out notes, like, oh, I've got that currant, I've got that juicy, tropical element. Definitely the lemon.
Yeah, but
So
it's very texture forward for a light roast coffee, right?
Yeah.
For this brew, like the
Right.
style is emphasizing the body and the texture that's in the coffee.
Right.
Whereas, like, you know, my recipe is going to emphasize the acidity, but this is giving me like the texture, and then I taste a lot of the layering, right?
Yeah.
Like I taste the acidity there, I taste the sweetness, I taste the cleanliness of the coffee. I also really like the linger in this.
Right.
That's what's fun. Is like that's what you're getting. Is like in that long brew, you get that like that linger.
Right.
That's there.
Yeah. The profile is elongated. The finish is very long. It does, like I said, it kind of grips to the palate. You know. So, I like it. I find it interesting. I also like your brews and your style of brews. Or if you'd like to go faster and brighter, that's a great way. There's so many good ways, but this is again, it's maybe an adjustment to a grinder that has more fines. When we have the Lagome, you know, that also worked really well. You can kind of go both ways, but if you are getting a lot of fines, slowing it down and letting the coffee bed be the filter
Yeah.
really helps.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you take a look at this bed, obviously, you know, visuals, they don't tell the full story. Use your palate, taste, but you can see that the fines are all pushed up to the side there. And you know, this is a lower fines grinder, and then you can see that the bed is very flat, right? So the agitation is very low on this. And you can see that, you know, in my mellow drip recipe, I'm like actually spinning a lot very fast and doing a lot of agitation there. This is, you know, very gentle agitation. So you can see the chaff is pushed up to there as well. Very clean looking bed if you just wanted to look at the visuals, right? But obviously, just again, taste the coffee and try this style out. And I think it's fun, right? This is
Yeah.
another type of recipe.
Right.
We just want to show this off. You know, definitely pick up Preston's coffees. Go to flowerchildcoffee.com. Flowerchildcoffee.com. Buy the
please.
coffees.
Yeah.
And you know, we're doing a collab on a really wonderful Colombian pink bourbon from Servio Botina. So also, you know, check that coffee out. But you know, I wanted to show you guys this type of recipe because it's just, you know, it's a bit different than what you know, what I brew. And for those of you guys who are chasing, you know, different presentations, right? Like in today's landscape, I wouldn't say one recipe is better than another, right?
Right.
It's not. That's not the case. It's a different presentation, and you know, if you have beautiful coffees from Prestin, you can brew these coffees in a variety of ways. So try out this style and see if you guys like it.
Yeah. Let me know what you think.
All right, but thank you guys for spending time to watch this video. We will see you guys in the next one. There you
right.
go.
Cheers.